What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and this video. Today I've got part 2 of reasons why your arms ain't growing. This will be the triceps edition. If you haven't seen my previous part to this where I went through tips for growing your biceps and reasons your biceps ain't growing, I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video. First exercise for chest tricep workout is going to be rope extensions, as you can see here. This is my personal favourite starting exercise to warm up the elbows, get some fluid going around the elbow joint. Right. This will bring me on to my first tip, and that would be to fully extend, so fully contract. Which it seems obvious, but in application it's often missed or cheated. What I mean by this is finish the contract. Don't just come down and stop here. We're not fully extending at the elbow. And also a free tip involved in this: keep your shoulders fixed. Slowly coming through the elbow. Right, so exercise 2, we've got single arm overhead cable extensions. So the tricep is composed of 3 heads. You've got your long head, your medial head, which is the little one, and your lateral head. So lateral, the medial one, the little one, and then your long head, which is the big bulky one that you'll see when you're doing movements like chest. It's important to work all 3 heads, obviously. The long head works agonistically with the shoulder. So overhead movements will complement and work the tricep long head. So that's tip 2 on exercise 2. How I train for arms is I'll do a couple of warm-up sets, 10 reps, just to feel the movement and get myself mentally and just physically primed for the top set. I do a top set of 20 reps, and 15 to 20 is the aim. And I'll keep the same weight and go again, which will be like 10 to 12, straight into a drop set. That's on most movements anyway. One thing I do want to add before I go into the top set is to control the eccentric. It's obviously important in all movements, but especially for exercise like this. Firstly, because above the head is where your body's most vulnerable and susceptible for injury. But secondly, because this exercise is working the tricep in the lengthen range. So controlling it down and really stretching the tricep on the eccentric is where the main benefit is going to come from this movement. Right, so exercise 3, we've got tricep push downs, press downs, however you want to say it. Again on the cable. The reason I'm using a cable dominant workout is because you can maintain tension on the muscle throughout the entirety of the range of motion, whereas with dumbbells or barbells you can lose tension on the muscle at full extension, can't come through it. So this one's going to work the medial head. Like I said, it's the smallest muscle at the bottom. And this means it will only really get used if you fully extend. This is why tip 1 is important. So because it's small, it'll get overpowered by the long head for the majority, so from here to here. But when you come into full extension and really squeeze, that's when it'll come and it'll contract. This will bring me on to my next tip as well, which is going to be volume. So not only in terms of training frequency, I have an arm day and also train triceps at the end of my chest workout, as I mentioned in my previous video. But also volume times of training. As I told you before, I do 10, top set of 15 to 20, and then back a set of 10 into the drop set, which is a lot of reps. I'll let you count it up. It's quite a secondary muscle, and if you go too heavy, especially in a movement like this where you're going to be pushing the majority of the weight, your lot of muscles will take over your shoulders, your back, even your legs to drive through. That's not what you want. You want to maintain tension throughout the arm and throughout the humerus. So, as I said, if it gets too heavy, you may end up swinging with your back and pushing down with your shoulders, eh? So you want to keep tight, push through the tricep. That's said, only extending through the humerus. That being said, I'm going to shift some weight now. I'm feeling a bit more pumped now, so t-shirts off, vesting it up for our fourth and final exercise for the tricep workout. This will be a single arm cable extension, but it's going to be pinned back, so I'll show you. The first exercise was in front of us like this, fully extended, working the lateral head of the tricep. The second exercise was rope extensions, working the long head of the tricep in the extended range. The third exercise we had the push downs, which is again in front of us, but more of a press down, imitating kind of like a dip, but without the aggro of doing dips. And finally we're going to pin back. This will really work the lateral head, because the long head will be stable and we'll just be working the lateral head, and of course the medial head in the fully extended range. So behind the body, so we've got one in front, or two in front, including the one where we press, one over the head, and this one pinned back. It's almost like an upright kickback. Again, it's really important to fully extend. This will be the final tip, obviously, for the workout. Is to work through the different planes of motion. So as we go into our top set, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but you want to pin your elbow into your side, because as your elbow flares out, that's when your tricep long head as well as your shoulders are going to take over, as they are bigger muscles than the lateral head. So pinned in, and really try and isolate that lateral head. As intensity technique, what we're going to do is we're going to resort our grip and come in front of us. Just pummel out the last couple of reps. When I say a couple, I mean only a couple. Right, I'm going to do the other arm, I'm going to back off, do a drop set, and I'll catch you when we're done in the gym.